Hey, Zach Williams here. We are going to tie a tube Scandinavian style for winter steelhead, specifically here on the Olympic Peninsula, but this is a fly that I think will produce about anywhere you find steelhead. So I've got the tube all laid out here. This is fits tubing. You have an extra small tube fit inside of a medium tube. That's going to create a juncture here where I have a thicker tube to lay my body and then a thin tube here at the front just to allow me to put a cone head on there. And additionally, your knot will seat up against that thin tubing in there. So first material I'm going to lay in here is a rib of orange holographic tubing, or holographic tinsel, tag I should say, not a rib. So I'm just going to tie that in and bring it forward about a 1/4 inch. Bind it down. Trim that. My body section is going to be, I have some STS flame dubbing, and I'm going to palmer a purple saddle hackle through that. So I'm going to go ahead and bind down the purple saddle hackle first. Dub my flame body. Better when dubbing a body like this. Use a pinch dubbing at a time. You want to try to keep it nice and webby like that. I don't happen to have a brush on me, but you could brush it out. Go. Got about a 1/2 inch there. Dubbed body forward to just before my junction in the tubing there. That allows me to put my wing material in on the thicker part of the tubing right at that junction. So now I'm just going to palmer this forward. I'm just making sure I don't bind any hackle down. Keep it nice and webby. Bind that down. Have that. Now I'm going to lay in my first wing, my underwing, which is going to be, in this case, I have some flame orange Arctic fox hair. Actually, no, this is a fin coon hair. Always want your underwing to be, in this case we're going to have a 2-part wing, so the underwing is going to be shorter than my top wing by probably about a 1/2 inch to 1 inch. So I'm going to just lay that on there. You want to keep it nice and wide so it's covering the whole top half of your tube when you bind it down. That'll keep it splayed out nicely in the water. Bind that down. Trim. I'm going to add in my first layer of flash on top of that, which is going to be some orange mirror flash, crinkle mirror flash. Just going to take 2 strands here, keep them separated. When you're tying in flash, you want your strands to be different lengths. You don't want to tie them all in at the same length or it'll look very unnatural. So I have 2 strands that I laid in at one level here and then doubled back a different level. Hear that noise? It's my dog rooting around. Next step, I'm going to tie in a marabou collar. This is a light plum marabou, a real light purple shade. We're going to give it just a couple wraps here of real long webby marabou. You're always folding the material back as you go. 1, 2. Bind that down and trim. Now our next wing layer, I'm going to use a light purple temple dog hair and get nice long soft fibers. Like I mentioned before, I'm going to lay this back longer than my first wing layer. So I'll lay this on there nice and wide and good 1 to 2 inches longer than the first. Bind that down. Trim. I'm going to add in another layer of flash here. So I really like this crinkle flash. This is purple crinkle flash now. These are going to be longer than the first layer of flash I added in. I'm going to kind of match the length of my wing here. Keep them nice and spread out, not in a big clump. It's bound down there. And my last material, I'm going to add in a blue collar. This is whiting Spey hackle. Real nice webby fibers on here. We're just going to take a couple turns of that. Bind it down. Going to add some glue here. A couple more turns there in the glue. trim my thread. Got a large nickel colored cone going to slide on. Make sure all the feathers are laid out nice before I bind that on. There you have it. Pull that out. Melt the end of the cone down. Then put it back on the needle just to make sure that eye of the cone stays open. And there you have it. Temple Dog tube here in purple over flame with a blue collar. Color combination I really like here on the Olympic Peninsula and elsewhere. And that is that. I'm Zach Williams with P&W Spey Guides. I hope that helps you out. You can find us at pnwspey.com.